Good morning, my friends. Where the heck are we? It's a secret spot. I can't tell you. What I can tell you is this. The reason that I'm making this video today is because I've been thinking a lot about inner peace, my personal inner peace, and how much I've changed in the last few years, just by the way that I view and perceive myself. And so I wanted to share some things with you today, some practical applications that I've used in my life to help me just have a little more inner peace and a lot less stress and anxiety over things that I really couldn't control. But also just like making sure that I'm doing things that are aligned with me consistently, and giving myself a lot less room for distractions in my life so that I can live a much more abundant and fruitful life just by enjoying where I'm at and what I'm doing, whether it's something serious or it's something very simple like just enjoying watching the steam come off the creek over there, right? Because I think there's a lot more to life in the silence and the space between all the noise. I'm not the first person to think that, by the way. But I just wanted to share a couple things with you that I've been practicing in my life that have really helped me bring a lot more inner peace and joy to my life, and they're very simple. And the first one that I'm going to recommend is I think of the utmost importance immediately, and that's that so many of you, just like me at points in my life, are just run the fuck down. You're just shot. You're just beat down. Years and years of wear, years and years of not being true to yourself, years and years of doing things that you hate. You might have been going to a job for fucking 10 years that you hate, or 10 months, or 10 minutes. It doesn't matter. It's still relative, and it still affects you and impacts you. And the consistency over time beats you down. Some of you feel like that. I felt like that in jobs before too, where I was like, I don't want to go in here today. I don't want to do this right now. I can't do it again. And then you keep going and going and going and going and going. Over time, my friends, that really grinds your spirit down. That really puts you in a position where it's a lot harder for you to live in alignment with yourself, because eventually you start to become numb to everything and you're like, I don't even care. And that's when all of a sudden the quick instant pleasures and gratifications of substances and many other things become super, super easy to access, and even easier to quench the need for something much deeper to rise out of you. And I personally believe that being in a position where you're consistently putting yourself in harm's way for yourself is not good for you. I think that's obvious. So I think the first thing I would say is if you're beat down, worn down, I think maybe the first thing you might want to think about doing is just separating yourself from all the BS, right? If you don't like that place, then walk over to this place. If you don't like that relationship that's wearing you, then walk away from it, right? It's so much easier said than done, of course, but it's that simple at the same time, right? If you don't like your job, get a new one, right? If you've spent way too much time around technology and civilization, take a break, right? So many people have written and experienced the power of detaching yourself from your life, aka from your ego and the things that you do on a daily basis, the things that constitute you, to find a lot more abundance and solace in the solitude of nature and in the silence. But you can't experience that if you're not willing to get outside your comfort zone, right? That's why my company hosts retreats. We host retreats for people who are super, super worn down, people who aren't being true to themselves, or who want to get back to who they are. We offer that because it's so important that we as humans separate ourselves at times and reconnect with the truth, right? That we're a part of this big thing versus this little thing. Both are true, right? But one of them doesn't involve judgment. And sometimes on this we can do that, right? So that's the first thing I would say, is that if you're super worn down, you need to stop doing what you're doing then, right? It might be a good idea to stop the job that you are not enjoying, to leave the relationship that's wearing you down, to separate yourself from your normal daily routine and find yourself out here where things are a lot more free. You can think clearly, you can find space, and we all know that nature is a healer. So I believe that finding yourself out here, I mean, just look at how beautiful that is, could really help you and impact you in a positive way. So I think that's the first thing I would say, is separate yourself from BS, right? The second thing that I want to talk about that's super important is it's really simple, but I think that it's something people don't realize is that you don't always need to have this on you. For me, I'm a business guy, so like having my phone on me is important. But I'll admit, my phone's on Do Not Disturb mode 24/7. You actually can't get through to me unless I'm not gonna say how to get through to me, but you can't get through to me for a reason. It's because it wrecks my inner peace. How can I be at peace when my phone is constantly vibrating? From Instagram messages, from Facebook updates, from TikTok alerts. How can I possibly be in a place of abundance and in a place of peace and beauty and joy when I'm literally being bombarded with all kinds of stuff all day long that doesn't need my direct attention, but that I give my attention to unconsciously, right? Because we don't think about the alerts. We think about the dopamine that it makes us feel good when we get people that are liking our posts. But we maybe really should be thinking is like, do I really care about that? Is that bringing me inner peace? Or is the fact that I'm in control of my emotions bringing me inner peace, right? That right there is why I moved, because it's too loud. That was right on time. So, the second application that I think might be helpful for you is simply to start turning your phone on airplane mode a lot more. Start turning it on Do Not Disturb a lot more. Start turning it off a lot more. You don't need it all the time, do you? Maybe you think you do, but I'm pretty sure that if we actually analyze 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, there'd be quite often where you wouldn't actually need to grab for your phone. That's just something that you do because we've now been programmed to do it, right? We need to work on unlearning those things because they don't serve us. It doesn't serve you to check in all your updates all day long. All it does is just boost your dopamine levels in your brain. That's all it does. That's it. Puts you in a position where you become more or less a slave to the phone. So how can we combat this? Turn on airplane mode more. Just press the button. All of a sudden now it doesn't exist. You're not getting any messages. You're not getting any updates, right? Turn it off. Do you really need it at night? Yeah, maybe on the 1 in a million chance someone needs to call you at night. Fair enough. But like, do you really need it? Maybe not. When you go out to get something to eat, do you need your phone? Do you have to take pictures of the food? If you're feeling like crap, do you still need to update Snapchat? Probably not. So why are you doing it? Like I said, unconsciously, we're doing these things that are just hurting us consistently, again and again and again. And most importantly, ruining our inner peace. How can you have inner peace and how can you enjoy a meal when you're taking fucking pictures of it all the time? You're not even enjoying it at that point. You're just taking the fucking picture. You go to the place to take a picture. Does that make sense? And do I judge you? Absolutely not. But when it comes to people coming to me saying, I'm upset, I'm this, I'm that, my inner peace is wrecked, it's okay, so what's the root of this stuff? What's the stem? And it keeps going back to these same things. We're just so wrapped up in this. Way too wrapped up in this. There's no balance. I'm not saying don't be in it. I'm here right now and I'm on it. Why? Because I think it's a very effective tool to communicate. That's for sure. But it doesn't take away from this. And guess what? As soon as this video is over, this is going back in my jacket. I'm going to walk around and enjoy the rest of my morning. But practical application number 2, peeps, is one that I've been using and it's been working for me so much. It's helped me create so much balance in my life in the last couple of years, especially the last year and a half in general, because I came to a point personally where I was so addicted to my phone that I was on it all the time. I'd be on it for like 8 hours straight, just messaging people all day long. Texting, this, that, it's just not really acceptable for me right now in my life. How can I have time to even think for myself, let alone just text and message and updates and updates and dopamine. It makes you go kind of loopy, right? We need to create some balance this year, peeps. In 2020, if you want to find a little more inner peace for yourself, try putting your phone in airplane mode more. Try turning your phone off more. Try leaving it behind more. You don't need it. We don't need it as much as we think we do, right? Practical application number 3. On this, I've been given some thought, but it's tricky. And I don't expect everyone to do this. But if you want to find a little more inner peace in 2020, then you should think about creating something for other people to use. Like that. It's a duck washing station. Right? Why is this important? Peeps, when you create something, grow something, build something from the ground up, It instills all of nature's principles in you at once, because that is basically the foundation of everything here. It's all creation. So the act of you creating and thinking and creating and spawning that relationship and building a connection with yourself in that way and tapping into that feminine and creative energy, that's one of the things that can shift your life the most, because in that you'll find so much appreciation for the little things, right? And it's appreciation for the little things that brings us inner peace. It's amazing to have a vision and a macro of what you want in the world. It's so important to have that. But it's these little things. It's these soft sounds of the creek in the morning. It's the sun peeking over the trees. It's the reflection of the bridge in the water. That's what brings me inner peace. That's what can bring you inner peace, I feel like, too. But we're so busy. We're so distracted, right? And we're so worried about the next Netflix show that we're not capable of seeing the beauty that's right in front of our eyes, the reflection of the sun as the steam rises. I mean, this is top notch, man. Like, if we were back in middle school, we'd be like, yo, let's go on a field trip. This is cool. This is so cool. What happened to it being cool? Is it still cool? Or do you just have different priorities based on your unconscious beliefs that your phone and Instagram is more important than your inner peace? Because that's what you're suggesting with your actions. How do I know this? I'm watching you all. I watch myself. I see what I'm doing. You know what I did the other day? I moved Instagram to the second page of my apps, and guess how much less time I've been spending on Instagram? A lot less. And I'm a business guy who's on Instagram. But you know what? Instagram isn't the end-all be-all. I actually really enjoy YouTube, and I think YouTube is the place where I can make and have the most fun, because it provides me with opportunity to create longer form content that you can all watch and hopefully take some value from. And for me, it's a lot more fun because I can just shoot videos, which is probably my favorite thing. So anyway, where am I going with all this? Creation. The creation of this video right here. This is the little things. Getting able to stand out here by myself. What time is it? Like 8:30 on a Monday. It's freezing cold, like 15, 16 degrees, but I'm happy as a clam because I know that I'm on my mission and I'm appreciating these little things along the journey because I'm in the process of creation all the time. I just created all morning, touching up the MBS program. I'm creating all the time, building pillars of growth, building out my plan for 2020, building with my clients to make their lives a little more complete, right? To help them find inner peace. It's so intertwined. But so many of us, we lack this ability right now because we're so focused on things that don't matter, right? We're focused on things that we want to be caught up so we can talk about this stuff with other people. We want to distract ourselves so we don't have to find out the truth, which is that right now you might not know where you're at in your life, or you might realize you have zero inner peace and that you're conflicted because you don't know who you are, because you're doing things that aren't true to you, because you're in a relationship that's not the right one for you, but you're scared to leave. Because you're at a job that you know you hate, but you're afraid to lose the money and you might not get another job, right? You're in the system, but you're afraid to leave because the space scares you, right? There's so many things. There's so many things that we're afraid of right now that are stopping us from having inner peace, right? Because inner peace comes from absolute faith. Faith that you can get through anything. Faith that in the silence, you will find your voice. Faith that when you quit this job, you'll find the right one for you. Faith that the right person out there is waiting for you. Faith that you can create something for yourself that other people can use and you can gain value from the experience. Faith in your life and in yourself and in your existence. Faith that you belong here. We're distracting ourselves from experiencing this, which is why we have no inner peace, because we have no faith. The reason I'm out here right now and I don't care about how cold I am is because I have faith that when I get back to my house, I'll be warm again. So I'm going to enjoy this feeling, this piercing of my skin, the breath, because I might not get to experience it again. I don't know. It's very simple when we break it all the way down, my friends. But we insist on making it difficult. We insist on distracting ourselves because that's what everyone else is doing, right? If we see our parents distracting themselves from the truth, from their truth, from being true to themselves, of course we allow ourselves to do it. But it's the leader's job to break the mold and be true to themselves, regardless of the situation of others. And we're talking about inner peace. We're talking about leadership. We're talking about taking it upon yourself to go outside your box, to do things that you're not comfortable with, to spend time out in nature, to go on a retreat, to go on a trip, to go on an exploration, to drop everything and try something new. At the worst, you learn amazing lessons and you have amazing life experiences. At the best, it changes your life for the better and gives you the courage to do the things you know you need to do. So we're talking about having more inner peace in 2020. This is what we're talking about. Talking about disconnecting from the things that don't serve you. Talking about disconnecting from relationships, disconnecting from your job, disconnecting from the phone, social media, the things that are distracting you from you, right? The program that I created, the Pillars of Growth, it's a bridge. It's a bridge back to you, back to the person you were before you decided to learn all these things and all these subconscious programs that are now running 24/7 that make you addicted to stuff, right? It's before that. We're getting back to it. And the way to do this is to disconnect from things that aren't true to you, so you can understand and remember who you are. Because it's hard to remember who you are when you're constantly with someone who doesn't reflect who you are, who reflects the new person that you are, right? The fake person that you are. Person that wears masks, not the true person. How are you supposed to remember yourself? But guess what? The reflection of this water shows the truth. It's me and me, just like it's you and you. Distractions, we need to eliminate them in 2020 if we're looking for inner peace, my friends. We need to eliminate them. Ditch it. Ditch those people who aren't serving you. They're not. You're both going to learn lessons. They might not like you for a period of time, but eventually, long from now, or short from now, they will have the realization that you were doing what's best for you, and they can't fault you for that, right? Quit that job that's not serving you. It's not helping you. You'll get another job. If you believe you will get another job. One that's better for you. It's amazing what happens when you create the space in your life for the things that you truly want. And anything else in your life that isn't serving you, cut that out too, right? Cut those distractions. They're not helping you. They're hurting you. They're wounding you. They're grinding you down into dust, slowly but surely. And they're stealing your joy. They're stealing your inner peace. They're stealing your life. Number 2, be careful of this thing. Be careful how much you spend watching what you're watching right now. I'm a big fan of YouTube, but be careful. Be careful. Because some of this stuff is good, and some of it isn't so good, like all things, of course. And too much of a good thing makes you sick. So be aware, and be careful. And do yourself a favor. Put it on airplane mode more. Don't need it as much as you think, right? Maybe turn it off. It doesn't need to be on all the time. Do you want them listening to you all the time? Right? And leave it. Oh, leave it. You don't need to bring it everywhere you go. The picture ain't that amazing. It's great sometimes. Other times not necessary. But it's up to you. I'm not going to tell you what to do. It's your choice. Just something that I've noticed for me that's changed my life. And for me, for a long time, I was anxious. I was totally distracted at all times. I was afraid to be alone because I was afraid to be by myself, knowing that I wasn't true to who I was, and knowing that all the skeletons in my closet would come out and try and murder me. I remember that's like. But no more. I made a post last night on Facebook. I'm sleeping like a baby. It's really nice. Got to admit. Feels great. Waking up in the morning just knowing it's gonna be a good day. I can live with that. But it didn't happen until I removed the distractions, until I started putting my phone, leaving it around more, putting it on do not disturb mode, not allowing other people to dictate how I feel by texting me with something hateful, or texting me with something joyful, or texting me with something that made me uneasy. I don't allow that to affect me because my phone doesn't always pick it up. How can I let someone interrupt this beautiful moment right now? Why would I allow that? That makes no sense to me. That would ruin my inner peace. Right? Unexpectedly. Not necessary. Right? Leave your phone home more, peeps. It might change your life. Right? Number 3. My friends, create something. Create something. Use your gifts to create something beautiful. Experience all that life is in the process of creation, because you have the ability to do so, and you're oh so close. If you would just allow yourself to experience these little things and enjoy these little things and be intrigued by them and be curious once again. Oh man, if only that were to be true in 2020, what would that do for you? What would it do for your inner peace, for your joy, for your life? We stand on the threshold of a new decade, but you consistently, daily, stand on the threshold of your ideal life. However, you choose every single day which life you want to live. The false, anxious, lack of peace lifestyle, or the true, authentic, creative, fun, joyous, patient, excited, curious, and peaceful life of your true self, of the self that you are looking to be, that you want to be, that you're trying to get back to, but afraid. Peeps, I crossed the bridge. That's why I'm here. I crossed the bridge. And there are more bridges, different bridges, but I crossed that one. That one is the first one, right? The bridge back to you. And the only way to cross that bridge is start to remove things from your life that don't serve you. And if they don't serve you, remove them. Why would you have something? Imagine you went to get a sundae and someone started and you ordered the sundae and then you got ice cream, which is, let's say, what you really want, your true self, and it was just covered in all kinds of random bullshit. Other food, freaking random pieces of kitchen cutlery, just all kinds of stuff that literally made no sense at all, because that's how little sense it makes for you to be with someone who's not right for you, to do a job that isn't right for you, to not do things that are right for you, right, as far as creation is concerned. That's what it's like. It's like eating something, going to eat something and expecting it to be an ice cream sundae, and then finding out that it's like horseradish in there, and there's like a freaking piece of like tire in there, and like dirty, like murky water, like just stuff that isn't even aligned with you, that isn't even part of a sundae, but that's in there because at some point you settled for something. That was not the best analogy, I'll admit, but in my mind it sounded a little better, and it was pretty ridiculous. But that's how ridiculous it is watching people do shit that isn't right for them. Like, watching people in relationships that aren't right for them is really confusing, because, well, they're not right for you. Now, I get why you're in it. I do, and I respect why you're in it too. Like, it's not hard to just like detach immediately and go through all these things. But in reality, if you were a bird's eye view version of yourself and you were objective, you'd be like, this makes zero sense. I should probably stop doing this. So in 2020, you have the opportunity to make some serious changes in your life. And if you're looking for more inner peace and you want to sleep like a baby, and you want to start creating things and having more meaningful relationships and enjoying the little things and experiencing life in a whole new way, then these little practical applications might help you, right? Number one, cutting things, people, places that don't serve you, and finding a spot for you, right, out amongst nature to reconnect with yourself, get back to you. 2, cutting away the distractions of your phone, leaving it behind, and turning it off more and putting it on airplane mode more. And number 3, creating something for yourself, something for others that they can use, that they can grow through, and becoming a vessel for growth, using your unique gift, serving one world, finding a way through adversity, stepping into the light, and experiencing the amazing world that it is, and coming on your divine path by stepping away from the rubble, from the confusion, from the untrue, to you. I hope this video was helpful. I pray that these practical applications work for you like they've worked for me. They will only work if you work them, meaning you have to actually do it. But if you do, there could be an amazing 2020 awaiting for you, and even more importantly, the rest of your life. Because, like I said, I've walked that path, and I'm on the pavement. It's a lot easier to walk, I gotta admit. It's a lot more relaxed, less things to worry about, right? It's nice. I hope this was helpful for you. I really do. If you enjoyed this video, there's gonna be more, so shout out, that's gonna be sweet. But if you liked it, just let me know. Give it a like, please, and give me a comment or drop a comment if you have something you want to share, if this makes sense to you, if this resonates with you, if you're gonna try it. And if you're interested in personal growth and development, you're new to it, or you've been on your journey for a while, and you want to find a group of people who are all about personal growth and development and on their unique journeys, serving the world with their unique gifts and finding a way through adversity, there's a link below in the comment and the caption that will take you to our Facebook group. You're more than welcome to join. We'd love to have you, and looking forward to talking to you all soon. I don't really know what came up calling me this morning, but I just felt like I need to talk about this topic specifically. And I really hope it was helpful. Like I said, these practical applications worked for me, changed my life, and it all started with me getting back to me. And that means removing things from your life that aren't you. So in the end, you're going to be lonely for a period of time because you're working to get back to yourself and really develop a relationship with yourself again, right? Just because you get out of a relationship with someone else doesn't mean you're in another relationship with yourself immediately, because you are automatically, right, by default, back into a relationship with yourself only, in which case you need to build it from the ground up, just like anything else. The only difference is that you've been there before. You remember yourself back in the day when you really enjoyed yourself and loved yourself when you were younger. You can get back to it, and these applications are a way to do so. So I hope this was helpful. Much love always. You know the drill. Use your gifts. Serve one world. Legends find a way, people. Much love. Peace, peace.